Guys, I'm so mad that Miller's making me do my stupid presentation on Thursday. I know. It was really funny because I like jinxed us. Oh well. Guys, this is kind of funky that I can like hear myself.
St. Louis Park Public Schools sees,
inspires,
and empowers each student to achieve academic excellence
and live their brilliance in a racially equitable learning environment
that centers student voice and experience.
to energize and enhance the spirit of our community.
Welcome to the St. Louis Park Echoes Mission Series podcast. Each week in this limited series, we will explore one aspect of St. Louis Park Public Schools' mission statement.
This week, we sit down with SLP students to understand what it means to be seen.
We're your hosts, Sylvie Richardson
And Sky Richardson. Please join us for our conversation today about what it means to be seen by a school.
Say your names. I'm Sylvie.
I'm Sage Murray.
I'm Lucille Bergeson.
I'm Sam Ramirez. I want to specifically talk about the whole ICE situation that's going on in our community. I feel like that's a big thing that our schools had to deal with, and I would say for the most part, as someone who's directly affected by it because my dad is an immigrant, I in some ways I feel seen, in other ways I don't feel seen and helped by our community. I would say one way that I do feel somewhat seen is I guess not me directly because I'm obviously still here at the school, but people who haven't been able to go to school because of fear and whatever their parents have been taken, who have been directly affected. I feel the school has done a pretty good job of providing them still education, by doing the online learning and whatnot. And teachers have been very available to help these students because they care about them. But I'd say I'm out of breath. It's so hot here. But directly from our administration, I do not feel seen, and I feel they have honestly been working against us this whole couple months throughout this has been going on because for example during the ICE walkout while SOAR has been trying to put together protests walkouts what was it, teach-ins, all that literally can I name drop? Am I allowed to name drop? Okay. Our administration, our principal has that's okay. Yeah. Anyways, but I feel they have been just completely they've been shutting the teach-ins down, not letting people get educated on the matter of ICE and being able to see what they can do to keep themselves safe, keep their parents safe, keep their friends safe, whatnot. The whole thing about what are your rights when you are talking to an ICE agent, those teach-ins I feel are so important, for that matter especially, and people have not gotten the chance to be educated on that. About the walkout, I believe, was the walkout canceled, I believe, one time before we were able to do it? I believe, just, the entire thing, with our our school's administration, they haven't been, while SOAR has been trying to organize these walkouts, they have just been fighting them every step of the way. SOAR has, had just so much trouble, trying to, organize these walkouts, teach-ins and everything. I just I feel so unseen by our administration in that way, or our admin. It's just we need students' voices right now more than ever.
I definitely agree. I think there's definitely that divide between teachers and admin. I feel teachers are definitely the ones actually seeing the students. I mean, it probably helps that they're seeing the students every day, but administration, as you said, has been actively fighting against our efforts to protest ICE and I almost feel almost denied our voices and our ability to be seen in the community, whereas teachers have been supporting us and even the stuff you mentioned of supporting the community, I know a lot of that is also run by teachers and parents. I mean, my mom and Lucille's mom too, they work a lot with that, so.
I think teachers have been doing a great job of that stuff. I feel the administration, both with ICE stuff and the schedule changes and everything, seem to care more about what outsiders think than about how it actually affects students. And even when they're saying that they're listening to students' voices and taking advice from students, they may talk to students, but they don't really seem to take our perspectives into account in the decisions they make.
Yeah, that's a good point, Lucille. And then outside of ICE, which is obviously an important issue, but this mission statement that like SLP sees the students is kind of more broad. Do you guys have any opinions on whether you feel seen outside of like just the ICE issue? Like, do you feel seen by administration and teachers and everything?
I mean, going back to like schedule changes and like mental health for students and all of that stuff, I feel like teachers genuinely really do care about their students and are doing their best to support us. I don't feel like the administration really interacts with the students to the point they should be to actually be giving us support, and I don't feel like they listen to our concerns about like the schools and our mental and physical health within the schools.
Something I would also like to point out is, like, by not being seen, the block schedule that is happening next year. Like, I can't remember, was it Echo that released a stat? I remember somebody released a stat that it was, I think, like 82% of students and teachers did not want this to happen, and like the 20% was admin, and like that is a big thing. Like, everybody I've talked to is very upset about block schedule. It's such a huge change in our senior year, and it's like just not something to look forward. It's going to make AP classes like 10 times harder because you're going to, like, say you take it in the fall, you have to learn everything really quickly and then relearn it again like 4 months later, and it's just like literally nobody wants block schedule, and then here they are making it a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to focus too much on block schedule, but like it's definitely felt like admin, like especially with the mass schedule and all the problems that are arising, they did not seek out teacher voices or student voices to be incorporating in the planning of this schedule. And I mean, that does not make me feel seen or heard. And so many people are like, we could have pointed out these problems really early on. And it's also the lack of communication too. So many people have been trying to communicate with admin about these things, and they're just not being, I don't know, what's the word, proactive in communicating and helping out students and teachers, especially with this new transition.
And also, I feel like from the beginning, the district has promised us that they would have everything figured out for it by this point, and they still don't, and that's making it really hard for us to do our registration and figure out plans for the future and how everything's going to work for us.
Okay, I think Skies. Didn't we already answer that? Skies just wrote.
No, I'm sorry. Are there ways, we've talked a lot about how like students don't feel heard and like don't really feel seen. In what ways like have you felt seen at school? And it doesn't have to be just the administration. Like some of like our gallery that we did was like Miss Peel's pictures of students like on her wall, and like at the Pep Fest like having clubs all like participate and like being in school.
Can I start off? Is that cool? Okay, I guess I would like to start off like strong by like some ways I've been seeing, because I know we've just talked a lot about the administration here. Like a big way I've felt like seen by our admin is like recently like had some things going on in my personal life, and the CPS worker like really stepped up and stepped in to help me like process my emotions and like my feelings, and would like make weekly schedules like for us to like sit down and like just talk for 15 minutes about how I was feeling. And I think that was so important for me, because it really just helped me process everything that I was going through, and like I really appreciate that our administration was like stepping up to like help me as a student. Are we allowed to like talk about how teachers have helped us too? Okay, I mean, okay. Well, I guess I would really like to point out how like Miss Quattrini as a teacher has really helped me. Even like I was her TA like this last semester, and she helped me so much. Like not even just like as like a teacher, but just like more on like a personal level. Like she helped me when I was going through a lot, like first semester as well. Like she stepped up whenever I need help in like biology. It's like my hardest subject. She has stepped in to like sit down and explain things to me on a level that I can understand. And like that has been a major way I have felt supported by our teachers.
I mean, as a student in the IB program, I also have felt seen by my fellow like IB students, as well as like all my IB coordinators and different teachers involved. IB is definitely a very community-focused program, and that is just one way I've felt seen. But it's also like the different programs the school offers, and the way a lot of the students and teachers manage to form bonds within these communities is, I guess, how I really feel seen at Park.
And I think in addition to teachers, a lot of like the administration that works more closely with students, like the grade level counselors and the people in the office who interact with students on a daily basis, do a good job of like meeting students where they're at and helping us figure out what we need and how we can get there. And I also think a lot of the student organizations and clubs do a great job of providing community and support for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, to expand, sorry, to expand on that, like, well, we have a lot of different students with different interests. So do you think your, like, individual interests are being seen and valued by our school? And in what ways, if yes? Or how could they improve?
I would say yes. I feel like our school offers a pretty wide variety of like classes to meet students at the level they're at and like what they're interested in. I feel like there are more classes we could add, but I know that's not necessarily feasible. And I also think that like there's a lot of clubs that are available. Like I'm part of theater, I'm part of like Girls United and the Environmental Club, and I think those are all things that are very important communities to me, and I'm happy that St. Louis Park offers those.
I mean, even though we've been kind of dissing on the new block schedule, I'm excited to see all the new classes that are coming too, because it really has a lot more variety and allows a lot of students to be able to gain and also expand on their current interests. I know they're adding AP cybersecurity, which, I mean, I'm not interested in cybersecurity, but I know there's probably some people who are. And
There's a bunch of electives too that they're adding.
yeah, and like beginner strings is being added to let students kind of get into that orchestra program as well.
I would like to say like one way I think I've been seen by like just like interest wise, like for example tonight is the art conference night at Normandale, the arts building. Like that was a huge way honestly I've ever felt like seen. Like I love art, I've been doing it for years, it's been just like such a huge part of like my personality, like my identity. It's like a big way I express myself. And then I was nominated for an art piece that I did in pottery that it's just like I guess I won't go into that, but like being like able to like have my artwork like seen and like recognized, like this is the first time I've ever actually had my art recognized, and like it's such a big moment for me. And then like for it to be a school teacher, Miss Jacobs, to be like the one to recommend me like I guess I don't know, it's just like I feel like a great way that our school is like caring about students' interests and like putting them out there for other people to see.
Cool. That's exciting.
Do you think that you're
I don't know.
culturally seen and represented at Brook? Anyways, it's not like, and it can be like parts of like your identity, or like, do you think there's like diverse cultures and people represented and seen?
I guess speaking from more of like a personal experience, I'd say there's definitely like a big like cultural community here. Like this is a very, very diverse school. People come from all different backgrounds, like religions, ethnicity, like it's all over the place, and like that's so amazing. And I think that being at this school, like I definitely like see my own heritage. Like I see it being recognized. I feel like maybe not to the extent that I would like it. Like I would love much more representation, but I feel like there's not nothing. Like there's people here. There's Profe Anderson, who's like our Spanish teacher. Like she's always like making sure like Hispanic heritage is being like recognized with like the Spanish club and everything. So I'd say there's a good deal of it, but there could definitely be more.
Yeah, I would say I definitely see diversity here, and there are lots of student organizations like the Spanish Club and SOAR that focus on celebrating everybody who is at this school. I have definitely felt like I feel recognized, but I don't know that I can speak to the experiences of other students, like as a white student.
I mean, I'm white too, but in terms of like the LGBTQ plus community, I've felt seen a lot too. I think our school has a really good we have GSA, and I just know a lot of students personally who are like gay and trans, and we have a really good community with that here. But then I do also see a lot of diversity at our school. So
Yeah, with the diversity, would you guys say like all the different groups at our school are being equally represented?
I would say no. Like, I feel like, again, like speaking from personal experience, like during like Hispanic Heritage Month, like I feel like that's a great example. They mention it one time in the Connection slideshow and they never mention it ever again.
They have like one poster in the halls.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's such a bummer because it's like, this is my month. I'm proud of who I am. I want it to be displayed. Like, I feel like I feel like just in general, like none of the cultures like are really displayed all that much. I mean, like
They're definitely there, but they're not necessarily celebrated as much as they should be.
exactly, yeah, precisely. Like during like for example, like February Black History Month, we just had that. Like I feel like they like really nobody mentioned it. Like now that it comes to mind, like it was never really like I feel like it was probably mentioned in the Connection slideshow one time. And that's like all everybody talked about it. Like I remember, I feel like when we were younger, it was expressed so much more.
Yeah, like thinking back to that, like we went to PSI, so obviously there was celebration of Hispanic heritage there, but also even at the middle school, I feel like they did a lot more for representation than here.
I mean, I think the most I see with like the months is down in the media center. Every month we'd put up new books based off of like Hispanic Heritage Month or Black History Month. But I think that's really the most extent we see of like celebrating different cultures here at St. Louis Park. I mean, we preach diversity and wanting to celebrate diversity, but we are a diverse school, but I don't see that celebration as much as I think some people would like.
Mm-hmm. I see it more like among the students rather than like the actual. Yeah. Like, I feel like when we were younger, like, like we made whole, like, if it was like February, for example, all we focused on was how powerful like people of color were and how like they paved the way for our future and whatnot. But now it's just like, here's a poster, it's Black History Month, congratulations, like let's move on. Like it's just like where's the representation at, you know?
Okay, one more question. How could Park do a better job of seeing you?
I think if high-level administration, like on the level of like the principal, the superintendent, even, I know they have student groups that they talk to, but if they could try more to take into account what those students actually say and talk to more students, and like really take our perspectives and the perspectives of teachers into account when making their decisions for the district, that would be really helpful.
I agree. I would like to say like on the like topic of like cultural identity and all that, like I would love it so much more if in class, like I guess they don't really control the curriculum or any of that, but like just like if I wish to be seen more in class, you know, like for who I am. And like I hope that our administration could hopefully do something.
Maybe that could involve doing more like passion projects and stuff like that too. Like
exactly.
we can kind of educate ourselves and others on those things.
This is not going to be super as relevant, but like I think, like especially because I think administration sometimes won't let teachers talk about current events, and current events have become, I mean, very stressful lately, and I think it would help a lot of students, including myself, to have that opportunity to talk about them in the classroom. But I also agree with allowing student voices to be heard within the administration and within school decisions, and that, better, celebration and education around cultural heritage.
And adding on to that idea of like allowing us to talk about current events, like I understand that politics is like a touchy subject and shouldn't necessarily be talked about as it's happening, but a lot of the events that are happening currently aren't necessarily political. They're like affecting the people in our community and are a social movement more than political and about human rights.
Thank you for joining us.
We'd like to thank our guests, Sam Ramirez, Lucille Bergeson, and Sage Murray.
Also, we'd like to thank WeVideo for providing the music.
Oh, I can hear you. Whoa.